Hi Bellas, welcome back to another YouTube video. If you're watching this video right now, it is currently 2026 and I feel like this is very nostalgic because literally about last year, 2025, I actually made a similar video like this. And I told myself actually I was going to film this video later last year, but I also feel like I just haven't got the time. But today I'm actually out here. So earlier last year, 2025, I think basically I spent last year's Christmas in Winnipeg, and I realized like when I came back to LA, I did the whole video recap of like how I wanted my 2025 to be like. And I feel like a very high key thing from the last video was basically just like wanted the people that made me happy or the people that I considered that brought joy to be actively present in my life. And I think that was basically just like the highlight of the goal, other than, obviously like you want the year to go good, calm, peace, happiness, joy, success, like just all that. And I feel like the year started, that was obviously like my goal or my wish. And I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to go through the year and, obviously keep on pushing, working towards like mini goals. Also, another goal was like I wanted to be more active and consistent. Also, like just in posting up more content, other aspects of my life, but also showing up for friends, family, and loved ones. And I feel like 2025 happened. Most times we write the things that we want to achieve in the year at the start of the year. And I feel like the year ends, and sometimes, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like for me, the year ends and I don't really even go back to it. I'm just like, you know what? The year has ended. Boom, boom, boom. Next year, I'm writing my whole goals. And I feel like for the first time this year, I think that was around like 28, 29, I got a minute to actually look at my whole template of 2025, just because I feel like my year, I'm not even gonna lie, I feel like 2025 felt like 3 years in one for me. If you're currently in LA, you notice the year started and like after a minute, like we had to obviously like evacuate because of the fires. Like a whole lot was just happening. I think the apartment I also was in, because of the whole rains and everything, we also had a flood. There was just like a whole lot going on. Also amidst that, obviously like, I can't share everything with you guys, but I feel like I started the year and I was also just hoping to God on like certain things. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep pulling through. It was just a lot was happening. I'm not even gonna lie. That also just made me like question I feel like I started questioning certain things, my anxiety, or like I may not say my anxiety because I'm not claiming anything, but I feel like the anxiety level triggered in me. And I was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep pulling through, which was one thing. At the ending of the year, I actually sat back and I was like, I actually pulled through all of this. And not just like pulling through, I feel like God also, the whole event, so everything that was happening also just made me question a lot. But half of the time, I feel like we ask God for something and He doesn't give it to us. Rather, He puts us in a situation where we could actually acquire that skill. And I feel like that was what 2025 kind of showed me. Because like in the moment when everything was happening, I was just like, okay, what really is going on? I told God like this year, I don't want to be on the front line of His battlefield, but what exactly is going on? And I feel like the year ended and I got the chance to look at my books, like the goals I actually wrote down for the year. And almost everything was ticked, apart from one, which is still continuously in progress. And I know like it's going to be finished soon. But I was kind of just like shocked because of in the moment, first of all, I won't even lie. I feel like I doubted like a whole lot of things. I was like, I started the year, first of all, in church, but I also feel like I should have done certain things differently. And a part of me was just like, okay, maybe 2025 was, it's just there. But the year ended and I got, like I said, I got the chance to look through all this. The flood happened, boom, the whole stuff happened. But I realized that God also replenished even the things that I lost. I got it back like ×2 before the year ended. I think I was also looking for like an apartment search then. And I feel like that was also like just a very stressful situation because like obviously, like, I needed someone to, like, my mom to co-sign for me, travel and all the stuffs. And I realized I ended up getting also like just a dream apartment, because I always wanted to stay in a place where obviously there's a study area, a workspace. Because I'm like, I need to cut down on going to cafes and spending money. I wanted a gym, I wanted a pool. And those are things I would get normally on the island. But then just moving to LA and knowing also like the prices of things, I was like, this is what I want, but I'm not going to get my hopes up. And before the year ended, I also realized God provided exactly what I wanted there. Yeah, so I just realized, like I said at the start of this video, this year felt like 3 years in one. But at the end of the year, I actually realized there were so much things to be grateful for, which is something like that is very key. Most times, like I said, we all write those goals we want, but the ending of the year is ending, and we don't take that moment to actually just look back at it and also just like be grateful. Rather, we're just like, okay, we need to do this more, we need to do that more. And I feel like that was something I got to see back this year. And regardless of when all these things was happening, I was actually so doubtful. I was so like, oh, what is happening? And knowing me, if y'all know me personally, like, I feel like sometimes I tend to be too much of like a perfection. I want things to be done a certain way. And this year also taught me, like, I may want things to be done a certain way, but that's necessarily not what God may want for me, or like that's not the timeline God is working on. So I feel like when things started going southly, or like when things started going like how I did not expect, it was so easy for me to like get swayed off and just like become doubtful. And I obviously had to pick up myself so much times. But then the year ended and I realized the timeline was not exactly how I wanted it to be, but the results actually ended up coming. So I feel like this year, basically, just entering 2026, I keep telling I think I told my mom, I had this conversation with my mom and also like some close friends. I feel like 2025 was actually just a year that got us to like, things were done, right? Battles were faced. But it also gave us that skill that I feel like we are going to use in 2026. So genuinely, as we're starting this year, this is my goal. And I feel like I've written down what I actually really want from this year. And I hope like this year I'm going to actually come back in 2027 or ending of 2026 and just kind of like recap it. I'm grateful to God for like, I feel like the year started and the bonds that I formed in 2025, I ended up going through it or going with them into 2026. I feel like I also strengthened some friendships because I feel like I always have this issue of I'm a bad texter, I'm bad online. And if you're in my presence, like, yeah, we're going to be very chill. But once like, I move around and stuff like that, it just gets very difficult. But this year I was also like more intentional in maintaining those bonds. I feel like God also pivoted or brought back people in my life that I originally started with, which was something I was very, very grateful. But that is actually just a recap of 2025. And I'm actually very optimistic for 2026. I definitely do not feel that I'm going to be in the front line of God's battlefield. But I feel like for this year, I just want to be very high key on intentionality. I feel like I want to strengthen the bonds also with me. I feel like I also want to reach out more to people. I want to be more consistent also because I feel like when everything was happening in 2025, I was just like, I'm going to go away. Maybe like I should cut off something. And I feel like I do not need to cut off everything because I don't say I could handle it all. But I feel like the Lord, if the God gives you like a capacity or if he gives you something, he knows what you can handle. And I feel like I want to lean more in that. I definitely want to strengthen my relationship with God this year also. I feel like 2025 showed me also like I went to churches. I feel like that would be another story for another day. YouTube channel also, I started posting more on faith because I feel like I was always back in if this is something I really wanted to talk about. But I then realized that was actually like a good part of half of my life. And I'm like, why am I hiding that, So I'm ending this video here, but I hope 2026, I'm going to come back and also share with y'all. And I hope the year is going on so good for you guys. I feel like I said, it's so coincidental that the people I ended the year with, my friends in Winnipeg, they also came to visit and we got to start the year together. The bonds, like I said, that I wanted to be in my life, I got to start the new year with them also. I got to start the new year in such like a loving fruitful. It was such a different place from where I was last year. And I can't even overemphasize it, like how grateful I am. And this year, I feel like I'm leaning more into gratitude. And if you're watching this video also, I don't know where you're at, but I feel like one thing, if I've rambled a lot in this video, but if there's anything you should take away from this video is just gratitude. Whatever happens in 2026, just know that you're not in the same place that you were last year. And I feel like that's something. You're also alive. You're also alive. Because 2025, there was a whole lot going on. So I feel like that's just something we should capitalize on. And I'm gonna end this video now. But if you're watching this video, I just gave you all some tea, some conversation. That makes this the last time seeing my face. I'm gonna be more consistent. Be sure to subscribe, become a member of this family. Yo, I'm actually out here filming in the snow for you guys. And my DJI is still surviving. So if you actually have a DJI and you're thinking of going snowing or whatever, this is a chance for you to go out. The quality is gonna be top notch and it's gonna be good. You all can see how clear it is. But I'm gonna stop this video before I keep on ranting and prolonging this video because I said I was gonna make it short. And I hope I'm gonna catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys and happy 2026. Thank you.